Cars and culture on the road with a special one now. Not only the car behind us, but the guy who's in front of me, Bruno Senna, who is brand ambassador for McLaren and does a lot of driver development for the brand. But this is the car that we want to talk about today, the Solus GT. Bruno, I know you had a big hand in this. Walk me through this. Tell me a little bit about the vehicle, what you like about it, and how significant it is for you.
Well, still very much in development. We just had the car out like about 3 weeks ago for the first time, so she's still like in her infancy, but it's a proper beast. It's got over 840 horsepower, over 200 kilos of downforce. Pure track car. It's a LMP style car, so you have obviously a single seater, not a 1.5 seats like an LMP car, but same concept, closed car, and performance close to LMP1, between LMP1 and LMP2. So I think for the customer, for the distinguished customer that will be able to drive this, a unique experience for sure.
The fact that it's sold out already is just absolutely fantastic, but I think some of the really cool features that you're including with this, including the Hans device and the FIA racing suit, and the helmet.
It's all needed. You know, this is a race car.
It's a race car.
Ultimately, it's a race car. It's not a car that you can just, turn the key on and go. You need an engineer and a mechanic at least to run this car. You need someone to heat the engine up. You need tire blankets to get the tires ready and working for action. And the tires are proper race tires as well. So it is one of those things that, I think for you to extract most of it, you need to be fully dedicated to it. And if you get the most of it, it'll be an unending pleasure. Amazing. Walk
me through this a little bit. Tell me what you like. Tell me about some of the development here.
One of the interesting things about this car is that this was developed for the Gran Turismo game many years ago.
Video game.
And I think to have this car coming from the virtual world into reality is something quite special, because you have something that lots of people have seen and driven, coming to the road and people getting to experience it firsthand. So we have a V10 engine exclusive to this car. McLaren has never done a V10, naturally aspirated, as we said before, more than 840 horsepower. Lots of drivability as well. It's a 5.2 liter engine, so the engine has a nice pickup. We have full-on race brakes. These are not carbon ceramics, they're full ceramic brakes, like in an LMP car. You have proper LMP rubber on this as well, so the tires are made by Goodyear, and they can take all the load at 300 kilometers per hour, which is amazing. All the aero of the car is very special because it has no limitation from the side of regulations. You can just make the car as you want. Our limitation was making the car from the game, so obviously you have to keep the shapes roughly where the game car was. But it's an amazing thing. The canopy doesn't open like this, it just slides forward, so you step onto this NACA air intake here, and then you get into the car. The canopy slides back onto you, and it's like a real like sort of
spaceship.
It is spaceship, like a fighter jet.
Fighter jet.
Then you fire the thing up, and the music comes on. The performance from the brakes. So we have ABS on this car, which is very unusual for a prototype and high downforce type of car. But it makes the experience a bit easier for the customers. Not everybody is used to driving this level of performance. TC, traction control, stability control, so it makes the car more friendly as well. And the aero platform is one of those that you can make the car a little bit higher in terms of ride height, and the car becomes much more easy to drive, forgiving. If you want full performance, you have to bring it all the way down to the deck, and you gain a loss of lap time. So real proper experience, and I think a unique thing in the world like this.
The downforce that Michael Leiters and I, CEO, talked about is the fact that you could actually run it on the ceiling if you needed to at speed. I mean, that's the kind of stickiness that this vehicle would have. It's got to be incredible.
I think the most impressive thing is that at 150 miles an hour, you have 400 kilos more than the car weighs, or 300 kilos more than the car weighs in terms of downforce. But when you're doing 300 kilometers per hour, you're looking at, over twice as much. So it's a real an amazing feat, and I think the experience that you get from this, it's unique.
Let's go around the back a little bit.
Sure.
Tell me a little bit about the form and function here, and a very unique exterior. I mean, again, a total race car. The width is just impressive.
You got huge diffuser, again, not regulated by racing regulations. You get to use the most of the aero bits of the car. So there is very well directed from the bottom. You can see the car from the top. It's super narrow in front, and you can see lots of airflow guiding veins. So there is very well behaved by the time you get to the rear, and the extractor puts a lot of ground effect on the car as well, which is very cool. You have the big exhausts here. They might change a little bit by the time the car is fully functioned, but it's one of those things. You get crash structures as well, where the tail lights are. No headlights on this car, so no night driving, unfortunately. But I think everybody
no
will be
24-hour Le Mans.
no 24-hour Le Mans. I mean, you can always adapt something.
Yeah, right.
But the regulations have to change a little bit for us. And one of those things, the car is safe, full carbon fiber tub. Everything is made for full enjoyment of the lucky customers that are getting one.
And they are very lucky, and it already sold out. What is the most amazing thing for you about this vehicle? What sticks out to you that is the lasting memory?
It's hard to pick out because there's so many special things. Like V10 engine, the engine sound is like F1 engines. It's a real experience. But I think what stood out for me when I drove the car, because I've driven so many different cars, and race cars are always like you're hunched into it and you can see much.
Yep.
This car has great visibility. It gives you, as a driver, a great way to sort of like experience the racetrack by being able to see it. So if you're like not so experienced, you can see so much better where you place the car, and I think that gives a lot of confidence to the drivers. We have only the Halo style bar on the front, but that's far away enough that it doesn't get in your view, but no A-pillars. So the canopy gives you amazing visibility to the racetrack, and I think this will bring this incredible performance car even closer to what people can enjoy and extract. So hopefully we'll have lots of these on the track and not so many of them on the garage.
Yes, exactly. You have an incredible racing lineage. I know your uncle would have been very proud.
He would have loved this, for sure.
This vehicle. He would have, yeah. Bruno, thank you so much. Wonderful having you on Cars and Culture.
My pleasure.
And explaining the beauty of this next iteration of McLaren for us.
Thank you.
Cars and Culture on the road. We'll see you again next time.